Okay, so here we are. I'm going to do a video on the final touches of this piece, a giclée print of my painting, Heart of the Patriot. This painting is going to be donated, or the print is going to be donated to Hospice of West Michigan, and they are focusing on veterans who are going through hospice care. So I thought it was pretty fitting. You know, I did this painting as I was getting out of the service in 2015. I was medically retired after I got jacked up in war. So I was thinking that, you know, as I took off my uniform for the last time, my patriotism was still flying through me. I still love America, and I'd serve her all over again if I had to, no matter what. But, you know, I'm thinking about these veterans, men and women going through hospice care. They're going through the end stages of life, and they're about ready to take off their earthly vessels and enter into eternity. And a lot of times they look back those few days and they think about their life. And I want to encourage them, just, you know, of course I want them to seek Christ in those last days if they haven't found him. But I want them to know that we have a grateful nation and we appreciate their service. So that's another way I look at this painting and this print that I'll be donating. This painting, this print is worth $650 retail, and I'm going to donate a situ light, which is over $300. So I'm making a donation of about $1,000 for hospice. And I just want to encourage anyone watching to make a donation, big or small, to Hospice of West Michigan. And I'm making the first donation. You know, if you want to donate $1,000, wouldn't that be awesome if several people did that and honored our veterans in their last days? So, but what I'm going to do today is do the finishing touches. I'm going to put a hanger on the back of the painting, so the new owner, wherever it is, can just hang it on the hook and plug in the situ light, and I'll go from there. So I think it'll be great. I'm looking forward to where it's going to end up. I really love this painting and the print, and some people do, some people don't. That's the way it is. That's the way it goes with art. So, all right. So what I'm going to do is turn off the light. Makes a big difference, doesn't it? Take my clamp off carefully. You know, the giclée print. This is like a big print, like an inkjet print. But what they do is they print it with pigment instead of ink. So it's like it's printing paint almost. So some of the colors aren't quite exact as the original, but that's part of the photography. You know, you have a really dark area, the camera will want to grab another light area, and the digital camera sometimes gets confused a little bit. So what I'm going to end up doing is a few highlights with this on this area right here and maybe over here with some oil paint, and then I'm going to sign it in the bottom, and it will be ready to go. So let's finish this print right now. So I'm going to unplug this, simply unplug it. And then what I do is I mark about a third of the way down on the painting, or on the canvas. So this is 30 inches tall, so I'll mark down 10 inches. Right about in there. All right, there we go. 10 inches down. Now I know where to mount that. So what I'm going to do next, I grabbed a couple screws that were a little bit bigger. Here's the ones I'm going to use. This is the one that comes with the hanger. I like to go nice and sturdy so there's no problems down the road. So I'm going to put this right about here. There's a ridge here. I'm going to put it below that ridge so that it will lay as flat as possible on the wall. So typically I do a time lapse of my process, but let's try doing a full video today. And you can hear what I'm thinking about when I go through this process. I aim this up a little bit, tilt it up, grab another one, all right? And once again, these are really nice stretcher bars, and they're made from Jack Richardson. They just do really quality stuff, Jack Richardson. And they're able to take a nice chunky screw here so it's not gonna fall to the wall eventually. I'm being really careful not to touch the canvas because, you know, it's a giclée print. It's still somewhat fragile, so it can be scratched or damaged. So I'm gonna be really careful with it. And then what I do, I have some picture hanging wire, right? So I'm just going to kind of guesstimate. It's gonna be about that long, right? And then leave myself a little bit to twist it around, snip it off, we're ready to go. And we're gonna make a nice, strong wire wrap here. And I'm going to make sure there's a little bit of give to that. So it's not tight as a guitar string or anything, but it's still straight across. And that will work just fine. I like to wrap it a couple times and then come back through the ring and then wrap it some more. Just so I know that it's not gonna come undone hanging on the wall. All right, I wrap it around as many times as I can. Smooth it out, all right? Like that. Okay, come back through, wrap it some more. So one of the things I'm concerned about is whoever's hanging this up, I don't want them to jab themselves on one of those little pieces of wire. So I always take a little bit of electrical tape and cut it off first. Cut it off, try not to cut my finger, right? The reason I don't just wrap it around and then pull it to break it is a trick. I've told this story before, but a sergeant major told me one time when I was training and setting up a radio line, and I was putting a piece of electrical tape on something. He said, and he showed me this, that you cut it instead of just pulling it, because if you just pull it, it stretches it, and eventually it unstretches and starts to unravel. That tape will unravel. And that's no good. We want it to be nice and tight, right? That's looking pretty good. Let's do another one. And I'm using some good quality electric tape. And I think I always try to go with good quality material so that it will last a long, long time. And it'll look great and it'll last a long time. So that's looking pretty good. Wrap it back around. All right, there we go. I think that's looking good. And we'll set this back up. And carefully put my clamp on there because this surface is kind of fragile. I don't want to mar the paint or the ink pigment. So I'm really careful with it. And then I plug the Situ light back in. Right. And then turn that on. And I try to match the actual painting with a color. Is it cooler? Is it warmer? I don't know if the camera picks that up or not. It's not that warm. So I'm gonna go cooler. I mean, it's right about there. So on this part, you'll notice right in here, on the other one, it's not quite as bright. Maybe that star is not quite as bright. Right here, that star. So what I'm going to do is take a little bit of oil paint, heavy with liquid dryer, and I am going to do a little custom painting on there, kind of highlights. I think Thomas Kincaid used to do that, or at least his, you know, the people that worked with his brand would do some, I don't know if you call it color tipping, but doing little highlights. It really seems to help make it pop. Now I tested this oil paint and liquid on another giclée sample to make sure it wasn't going to wreck the giclée surface. Seems to work all right. So what I'm going to do is use a little bit of titanium white, just a dab. We're not doing too much. I'm going to be very careful to not overdo it because it's just going to stand right on the surface, and I don't want to overdo it. I will put a little bit of cobalt down in case I need to blue it down or make it not so bright. And yeah, so here's my liquid. It's funny, I don't have a small jar of liquid. You know, I used to buy smaller ones, but this one is almost, it says 84 ounces. That's a good amount. But I use a lot of liquid. I don't use any oil on this. So I'm gonna make sure there's liquid mixed all through it. And what that does is it's gonna dry this very quickly. It's gonna dry it so it's not sitting on the surface of that pigment on the print. So, and I'm just going to do a little bit. I will mix up some blue just in case I don't want it quite so bright. Just a little bit. This little palette is from one of my easels, like my plein air painting easel. So usually I work on a big glass palette made out of an old window. But this time we're gonna try this out. Okay, I need some paper towels. Try to keep things clean. All right, so what am I looking at? I have to be very careful. I try to match what's on the original. So it looks like right through here is some white, or brighter white. So I'll do that. Cross your fingers they don't wreck this print. Let's see what happens. Okay, this will make it stand out just a little bit more. And this does feel like painting on a painting canvas. This will make this part right here stand out a little bit more. This is the most forward part of the figure, so I want this to pop out just a little bit more because the digital camera and print is not quite as sensitive to be able to pick that up and print it. So we're going to help it out a little bit, right? Just like that. Now it's not going to be exact. It's not going to be an exact replica or copy, but it's going to have a little bit of its own unique characteristics. Custom, that's what I'm looking for. That's the word I'm looking for, custom characteristics. So I'm hopeful that someone will purchase this and make a good donation to hospice and help out our veterans going through a difficult time of life, and that they'll be encouraged. Oh yeah, right through there, it's looking good. Now my concern is I can't wipe this off. I don't think I'm going to be able to wipe this off, so I'm going to make no mistakes. No mistakes, no erasing on this little project, right? No mistakes. This does bounce more than what a traditional painting canvas would, so I have to be a little more careful. But I like this. I think this is looking good. Looking good. Okay. Once again, I'm using, Jack Richardson. This is a Gray Matters by Jack Richardson. These paint brushes, I just love them. And the canvas stretcher bars, Jack Richardson. It's been a while since I bought them. It's been almost a year now. And I'm hoping that they're still in business because they're my favorite brushes. They can really handle hard scrubbing and, the abuse that a painter will give them. So a little bit through here. Oh, first mistake. Customization, that's what I'm going to call it. It's not a mistake, it's customized. All right, so I think that's looking pretty good. I'm going to step back. Even when I'm doing this, I'm going to step back, make sure it looks good. Yeah, that's looking good. I think maybe down here a little bit. Well, I'm pretty happy with this. Happy with its way it's going. I'm not going to do a whole lot on here. Just a little bit. Just a little bit right here. Right through here. It's looking pretty good, I think. So another thing I was thinking about is, you know, this is going to go to a gala. So a lot of fancy dress, and I get to bring my best girl, Dr. Kateberg, to this. It's going to be a cocktail attire. I don't know what that is, but I was thinking that when an artist is painting, they're wearing their grubby clothes, and then when they go to show it, they're wearing their finest. So it's almost like we go there and pretend, but in reality, we get grubby when we're working, and that's kind of funny. So when we go there, I hope there's going to be some wealthy people who are wearing their normal, nice attire, and I'll try to fit in and look like I'm successful. That's what artists like to do when they go to shows and to galleries and things like that. But usually we're wearing our grubby clothes, our working clothes. And that's what I'm doing right now. We're working on making something great. Oh yeah, that's not exactly how the painting looks, but I like it. Customized, that's what I'm talking about. Yep, okay, right here we go. Little dabs. I'm using a flat. This is number 6 flat. It's working pretty good. I can make longer lines, thinner lines, and fat lines with this. I don't know, that's looking pretty good. I think this one could use a little bit of a thicker paint to make it pop out a little bit more. Right? I gotta look at how I did it. That's looking good. That's looking good. I like it. Okay? Yeah, that really makes it pop too, right here. I've noticed when I do my painting, I do a lot of smudging with my fingers, so that's all right. So to those little kids watching, keep working on your finger painting, because someday you're gonna be, maybe you'll be an artist and you use your finger painting skills and you're creating. I think that's looking pretty good. Pretty good. All right, that one. Yeah, there we go. I have a habit of wiping my hands on my apron. So that's the main reason I wear my apron, is because otherwise I'm going to be wiping it on my pants, and eventually it'll get into the house and on other things. So I think this is looking really good. I'm going to use a smaller brush. What do we have here? Princeton round. Just do a little bit of smaller work right here. I have to be careful where I put my finger because this now has paint on it, right? Okay. Ooh, picked up some fuzz someplace. So now my objective, one of the things I want to do is make a couple thick spots that will capture the light coming from above. So I'm going to make it right here. That's too thick. Too thick. I'm going to wipe some off. Just spread it out a little bit more. All right. I think we're doing good. I'm kind of giving myself a pep talk. It's looking good. It's looking good. Okay. Just a few highlights. That's all I was going for. So what I'm going to do next, give it a signature. I'm going to practice. Make sure that this is flowing properly. Make sure I don't have any paint on my hands. Is this flowing all right? No, this is a little bit older paint pen. No, it's not good enough. I'm gonna wait on the signature so that I can buy a new one, so it'll look great. So sometimes you just have to wait to do your best. So once again, I want to encourage people to donate to West Michigan Hospice for the veterans, and